Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder, to the English commentary on the very same Dickermax gameplay that I did a few days ago with Bavarian commentary, and you guys asked me to do the very same battle footage just with English commentary. So here we are, and we are still blapping Jumbo Shermans. Oh, yes. So the footage is a few days old by now, but that's not really the topic. The thing is, I'm not doing a one-to-one translation. A lot of the flavor just would disappear, and I also don't have a script, so I need to record then every line by translation. And you just don't say things in Bavarian as you say them directly in English. So a lot of the things would be wrong, let's put it that way. So, first of all, I have here a kill compilation, and then at the end I have a very spectacular battle in terms of results, with a lot of the thought processes going into it. I had a lot of luck, but also the basic decisions that I made paid off, and that is always nice to see. Now, the beginning is, why do I play this tank, or why I played it? Well, it all goes actually back to the seal clubbing that I did for quite a while to earn a lot of silver lines in my American 4.7 lineup with the Jumbo Sherman and also the Cobra King, the premium one. And I just simply noticed that a lot of tanks cannot simply penetrate me. The upper frontal glacis is strong even after the penetration value changes. So the gameplay that you see is before and after the update, but it doesn't really change anything too much on this tank. Yes, before the update, the Panzergranate Rot had actually over 200 millimeters of penetration. Now it's just under 190, but it's still mighty for battle rating 4.3. And the post-penetration damage effect, oh yes. And then there is also this massive minus 15 degrees of gun depression, which just makes this an absolute ridgeline sniper. Long range, a lot of penetration power, and also a lot of post-penetration damage effect. So it one-shots the majority of tanks that it comes across in the majority of cases. But you have to pay for this quite a lot. So you have bad mobility, you have bad maneuverability, you have a casemate mounting of the gun, you have a low rate of fire, you have no machine gun, you just have not a lot of armor, you're open top, you don't have a big machine gun that you could use in this case. No artillery strike, no scouting capabilities, but when it works out, it's just kaboom to you, sir. God damn it, is it satisfying. And it worked out better than I expected. I thought, yeah, you really have to work hard for those kills, but a certain playstyle of just being very patient, but having still the situational awareness all the time and using the firepower to the best just makes this tank work. And you can then give your team just the edge in just annihilating the enemy's seal clubbers, but this tank is not unfair in this way, if you know what I mean, because everything can kill it. And if you just stop right in front of it, as in a light tank, yeah, I could have made a lot of those kills as well with a Panzer IV, but you know, working over this ridge line with those 15 degrees of gun depression can also lead you into situations like these where you just peek out despite somebody being aware and just taking the shot. Let's see how this works out versus the Lorraine 155. Here's the first shot. I shoot as well. He hits the ridge line in front of me because the target area was rather small, and I annihilated him. I reload. And just as I try to, get here into position for another kill on the tanks that want to go to A, yeah, I get strafed by the plane. So I know I'm done, actually. The next strafe, where there will be quite a little bit of a nasty 20mm hail into my tank. Yeah, there we go, P51. That's just not healthy. So I kind of like those trade-off tanks, those specialized tanks, if they have actually a value in the matter of War Thunder. And yeah, to counter AIDS with cancer is just not what I like to do. But if you have a position like this one, where the enemy is not coming across you, where you just can pick them apart one by one, have the cover, have hard cover, have team support, and you can support your team as a sniper, this is just golden. And so on this map here, on the Vietnam map, Look at this. They're just lining up to be killed. And they're just asking themselves, huh? What happened to the tank before me? He violently exploded. I better stand still in the open. Yeah, knock knock, who's there? Hello? Panzergranate. It's like, that gets never old for me. So I love this position. It's a very narrow path. I can be sure that there is little chance that I get flanked. If you look at it, I just can really help my team out here. And so I use this position. So again, very great versus jumbos, even the frontal glacis, still through the turret front. And everything can kill you, so this tank pays off if you know how to use it. Careful positioning, a lot of patience, passion, as well as just situational awareness and good aim, and you get rewarded. And I personally love this, you know, a thoughtful gameplay, not just high-tier Call of Duty. This might be something for a change, but honestly, this gun delivers pain. And there are so many nasty tanks at this battle rating with just very spacious fighting compartments, lots of crew and armor, that this tank is not really misplaced. It is actually a part of the German specialized tank destroyer line for Germany. So every nation basically has an SPA line, a heavy tank line, a medium tank line, and a light tank line or tank destroyer line in various different ways, and then very often a specialized line of very unique vehicles. And for Germany it is a very interesting line because it begins with the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 221 mit der schweren Panzerbüchse B41, dann der Panzerjäger 1, Sturmpanzer 2, Sonderkraftfahrzeug 234-2, the Puma, then the Marder 3, as well as the 88mm Flak 37 Selbstfallerfette auf 18 Tonnen Zugkraftwagen. And then the Dickermax comes, and it just raises the bar in terms of penetration, power and caliber. After that, the caliber goes lower to the Nashorn at 5.9, but that's the long 88. Oh yeah. After that, the Sture Emil with a 128mm K40 gun at 5.3, and after then the Waffenträger at 5.7 again with a long 88. So you can see those tanks are specialized and they have mostly great firepower or are very fast. All that in the very same line. There is no special name to it, but it's just a progression if you research them. I would recommend them. It's a little bit of an equalizer towards the enemy team. Especially the Puma has a lot of value, even on up tier, because it can scout. It can just, move around really quickly. But this is now the gameplay where I want to show it to you, which worked out perfectly. Look at this positioning. We are here on the Cuban map, and I have hard cover to the left and to the right. I'm working here on a ridgeline with very small hitting area, and I'm just sniping the enemies and oh yeah, going through 2 trees and then also to the middle plating of a T-34, one-shotting him. It's always beautiful. This position is just what the tank seems to be designed for, and I have no desire to give this position away. I'm here, the second line defense tank destroyer. So such positions are very rare, but if you know how to use them, if you have the patience to also endure the downtime that there is, because it takes a while up until the enemy shows off. But here we have now a jumbo, and look at this shot. I aim still for the 38mm plating and I one-shot him. Now here you could argue, you could have done this shot with any other tank in the game and probably gone through a tank at this battle rating bracket, and you probably be right. But there is also a chance that a lower caliber shell would have bounced. They have a higher tendency to bounce or to just get lost in the tracks. With this tank, this is not the case. You simply go through and you punch through and you one-shot the tank, and there is just no discussion. Boom, dead, end of the story. And this is what this tank does, what it does better than other tanks, in conjunction with their high penetration value. And there we can see a British Churchill, and I have to expose quite a lot in order to get my gun even over that ridgeline. And then he is very unsporty in just getting into cover. Damn you, Churchill, damn you. So I'm really designed to crack open KV-1s, even the IS-1, if I ever would see this, as well as Jumbos and also Churchills. And again, as long as nobody shoots back at you. And then it's a careful question if you should peek out. Always try to stick with your team, so that especially an SPA that sticks with you, like an Ostwind, Wirbelwind, or any other SPA that you can take with you as a friend. He has plenty full of work. There is so much American and British CAS flying around. It's a joke how many planes that there are. So it's a lot of work, and he can keep you safe. And if a big tank tries to go after the SPA, there is you with your big, dirty, filthy seal clubber gun. The gun is amazing. Everything around the vehicle, as I said in the beginning, is debatable. So it is always observation and just careful aiming and just being another tank that is not first engaged. That was a very lucky bomb drop for me, that it didn't flip me over, and also the splinters didn't ammo rack me or anything like this. So now I'm just at the mercy of the plane. And this is what you have to learn to deal with, sadly. Again, a friend or a colleague in an SPA lurking around you because you're very attractive to an enemy plane. Because they can deal with you not just with bombs and rockets, but also with machine guns. I've done it myself. It's fun, it's easy, it's reliable. And there is nothing that you can do in the Dickermax. Except if an SPA is hanging out with you, because then it's not so healthy for the plane anymore. So Ostwind, Wirbelwind, Sonderkraftfahrzeugs of any sort, of designation with anti-aircraft capabilities, yeah, it's nice. So here I still have the Churchill in mind. I didn't really look here at the kill messages. And now the Churchill is being dealt with from the other side. If not by the guys on the other side of the Churchill, I surely would have dealt with him. And again, coming over this ridgeline, I would have the gun depression. Looking here now at the minimap, we can see that finally the endgame, what I call it, begins. Now I'm at the front line in the middle of the map. There are a lot of tanks from our team near B, so the very northern spawn. So it's not ABC, it's BAC, because Belgian, I guess. And yeah, this aircraft gladly doesn't aim at me, but he fires actually at the guy behind me, and as usual the green guy dies. It's like the, I guess, red guy in Star Trek, you name it. It's just what does this game to me. I rarely get best squad despite being in the top of the leaderboard. But you know, my life observations aside, that escalated quickly. Yeah, now A gets captured, so the middle cap. And I think to myself, well, I'm in a flanking position with a hull-down tank destroyer, and I had to look twice to actually spot here the T-34, and it were actually the tracks on the side of the turret that gave him away, and that one shot is beautiful. But A gets still captured. Okay, what do I have to do now? I see no other tank in the vicinity. Despite always saying it, I'm a very impatient guy when it comes to playing War Thunder. There must be action, always forward, always on the attack, always bringing the fight to the enemy. Sometimes that gets me killed, or what should I say, sometimes, very often that gets me killed, but I'm not the camping guy. I mean, I can do it, but I don't like it. So here we got kind of an Agent Orange attack, I guess. So the trees are gone. Not just the leaves, but the entire trees, so good carpet bombing, I guess. And there I'm now in this little ditch, and I looked to the right and just saw the tank as he fired, and everything could have been over right there, so I was very lucky. I now try to ridgeline snipe him there, if he chooses to attack, but I have my ears activated, and again, I'm not listening to Sabaton, but this guy, and he just doesn't realize me, so I have all the time in the world to adjust my gun and just kill him. Could I have done this in any other tank? Yes. Did I do this with this tank? Yes. So there is the T-34, and briefly he looked like he knows where I am, but now he's on the move, and I can't readjust the gun. Just as I wanted to adjust the aim, the gun locks up, I pull the trigger and only track him. That's not good, but I look behind me and there is now a friendly blue tank, so that's always good teamwork, that the other guy gets shot at. So the T-34 couldn't resist, he didn't finish him off, but I finish him off. Brutal. So now the question is, what should I do? Well, obviously go for A. The thing is, now a lot of people would just try to look into A, but I know that I don't see anything, so I look the other way, behind A, and oh look, who's there? That is a French SPA. Dangerous with its 40mm, but still I peek the ridgeline, and while he shoots and hits me first, I also hit him, and my shell is bigger than his and just rips apart the entirety of the tank in a hull break. If that shot would have not worked, I would have just rolled back a little bit, load the HE, and that for sure, despite or regardless of where it would have hit the enemy SPA, would have dealt with him. At this battle rating, that 105mm HE shell is quite strong. It's not a LOLPen KV2 HE shell, but it's, you know, a good trade-off for the lack of machine gun if you have that shell loaded at the right moment. At this moment, I am in A, and this is very dangerous because I'm just giving away my position to the entirety of the enemy team. They got the message that A got decapped now and currently still gets capped, so they're dropping artillery strikes in there, planes now where to find with ease an enemy tank, but I still stay here. Now there is the artillery warning as predicted, as it usually happens. I'm looking here over the hills, and still this is a very good position for me. Remember, amazingly I have 15 degrees of gun depression. Now with the ranging shots falling, I know where the artillery strike is going down. I seem to be safe, and I'm just looking here. Why should I push again for the front line? Now there is movement in my team. Now I need to support them. If there is a flanker, if there is a heavy tank that angles, I can punch through him. There is my tank destroyer colleague, and I know that there is very likely an enemy tank behind this barn, but you know, I shoot the barn while falling gets rebuilt by communist forces, which are very plentiful and very fast, so yeah, didn't go down that barn. Yeah, Family Guy memes here. And then I aimed at this plane, and this is a shot that I'll never get again. I don't know what happened, why I missed. Probably not the best aim. But the plane goes down, and so goes my tank destroyer colleague. And this is again a very interesting push of mine. This, you know, play as I say, not as I do, because I'm just... I'm a way too aggressive guy. And then on the American premium tank, that is, let me just look up the name because I have forgotten in all my wisdom, the M4A5, you know, absorbs the big shell here because I hit the part behind the bush that was covered by the bush that was very angled. Nevertheless, let's try it again, and this time we hit here the driver, which seems to have been one of two remaining guys. And is that already 8 kills? Good stuff that Gaijin is taking, you know, tracking your kills, because I would have forgotten. It was just going from one kill to the other, repositioning, going forwards, playing around the objective. And so far I was very lucky that there was no plane strafing me and that there was no flanker flanking me. And again, I am in a very strong position, and there we actually penetrate another jumbo Sherman, seems like, but the shell didn't go through, but it really immobilized him, crippled him. Let's reload and let's finish him off with the second shot. And look at this. Yeah, at this angle, hitting it with a Panzer IV 75mm gun would have caused a bounce, I'm quite sure, but at this distance with that gun I punched through and got myself another kill. So let's just hang around here. Let's hope that my team pushes up again. We have all 3 objectives. This is very relaxing to know. There was another guy behind the bush, I'm not quite sure how I saw it. Maybe some machine gun bullets flew by, and I took the blind shot, or a very well guessed shot, and got myself another kill. That's just so awesome. Then another bunch of machine gun bullets. Not you, my friend, not you. And again, you can see how powerful those 15 degrees of gun depressions are. There are many tank destroyers that have like 10 degrees of gun depression, but because the gun is relatively high, you expose very little of your actual tank. And if only the gun breech gets hit, big deal. You retreat just a little bit, and that's enough to repair in cover. And other tanks would have exposed much more. 11 kills. 11 kills. Now B gets captured by the enemy team, but there is not much that I can do. I'm too slow. I would have to turn around, and if somebody would pop up there, it wouldn't be easy to turn around and shoot him before he would shoot me. But now, obviously, a very good bomb drop here by the enemy plane. I'm so glad that he missed, and I now try to seek any sort of cover, and just a few trees are there, but he has turned to the other side. Now strafes me with some machine guns, and yeah, actually rockets. No, that was his mistake, that he strafed me with rockets and missed all the rockets. And this is now GG. Good game, well played, because before he can turn around and strafe me another time, I get a well-deserved survivor for 1 capture zone cap and 11 tank kills. This was so far the very best game that I had in the Dickermax. Let's have a quick look at the post-battle results. And for a non-premium tank, that's not too shabby. 57,000 silver lines and 5,100 research points. Yeah, I think 14 shots fired, something like this, and still getting 11 kills. There you can see the potential. I really like this tank. I cannot recommend it enough. If you're really annoyed by the Jumbo Sherman or Cobra King spam, this tank can deal with them big time. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know in the comment section how you like the Bavarian version, if you have not already done this, and how you like the English commentary in contrast. Don't you mind that I did it in with the very same exact gameplay. Give this video a like if it did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.